Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Messick and Toast. We just wanted to record you guys a message before your summer and read some of the books that we would have read on the last day of school if we were together in the classroom, which we are not, and we don't get to do some of the fun things that we would have done on the last day of school, but hopefully you're celebrating at home because you made it through first grade. The first book that we're going to read is called Last Day Blues. And if you remember, on the first day of school, we read a book called First Day Jitters. And it was about how this person didn't want to go to school and she was nervous and she pretended to be sick on the first day and all of that. And it turned out to be the teacher that was nervous. And I talked to you guys about how I was nervous, and we talked about some of our feelings on the first day of school. So now we're going to read the story of Mrs. Hartwell and her class on the last day of school. Last Day Blues by Julie Danneberg and illustrated by Judy Love. Last Day Blues. On the Monday morning, before the Friday that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell took attendance. She sighed as she called out the last name. "I'm going to miss all of you," she said. The kids nodded in agreement. "I'm going to miss my friends," said Shannon. "I'm going to miss Daisy," said Dan. They have a class pet. It's a snake. "I'm going to miss chocolate milk and pizza for lunch," said Joe. Everyone felt a little blue thinking about the last day of school, even Daisy. That afternoon, during recess, the students talked as they hung out on the jungle gym. "Mrs. Hartwell said she's going to miss us," said Alexandra, swinging from the bar. "We should get a present to cheer her up," said Eddie, hanging upside down by his knees. But what could they get her? "I could give her the rest of my sandwich. It's my mom's bologna special," said Josh. "Or a coffee cup, or a new pen, the kind with feathers and beads." The students thought and thought, but couldn't come up with one single idea that they all agreed on. "We'll think of something tomorrow," Eddie assured everyone as they lined up for the drinking fountain. On the Tuesday before the Friday that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell read the final pages of their last read-aloud book. "I'm going to miss circle time," said Mrs. Hartwell. "I'm going to miss science," said Emily. "I'm going to miss seeing Mrs. Hartwell wear her safety goggles during science," said Jack, giggling. And so, before they got too sad, Mrs. Hartwell put on her safety goggles one last time, just for fun. "We definitely need to cheer up Mrs. Hartwell," said Andy during recess as he jumped out of a swing. "Any ideas about a present?" Eddie asked. "Nope," they all answered back. On the Wednesday before the Friday that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell brought in her super duper sugar cookies with extra frosting. "I'm going to miss snack time, but I can't wait for barbecues by the pool," said Jack. "I'm going to miss recess, but I can't wait to play hide and seek outside after dinner," said Alexandra. "I'll miss school, but I can't wait for summer vacation," said Josh. The class discussed their summer plans and drowned their last day blues with another round of milk and sugar cookies. "I don't know whether to be happy or sad today," Andy said, the minute they all arrived at the jungle gym. "Mrs. Hartwell is sad," said Olivia. "She probably doesn't want the year to end." "While we're swimming, she's reading her old lesson plans," said Walker. "And while we're playing, she'll be trying to remember the fun times we had this year," said Dan. And that's when an idea zipped, zapped, and zinged through Eddie's head. "I know exactly what will cheer her up," Eddie said, jumping down from the jungle gym. The class agreed it was perfect. On the Thursday before the Friday that was the last day of school, Eddie raised his hand right after Mrs. Hartwell started language arts. "We need some privacy, please," he said. And so Mrs. Hartwell took down the bulletin boards with her back to the class, and she never peeked. Well, only once. On the morning of the Friday That was the Friday. That was the last day of school. The students dashed into the classroom. They snapped open the shades for the very last time. They did their chores for the very last time. They fed Daisy for the very last time. And as soon as the bell rang, they couldn't wait for Mrs. Hartwell to see her present for the very first time. The last day of school makes us so blue. We'll miss recess and pizza and reading too. We'll miss Daisy and cookies and friendships true. Snack time and science and learning new. We'll miss spelling bees for our test review and groundhogs that play peekaboo. The year's been great, a big woohoo! There are many things to miss, it's true, but mostly what we'll miss is you. Later on, during recess, Eddie said, I think Mrs. Hartwell liked her present. I just hope it helps, Margaret said. Poor Mrs. Hartwell, they all said sadly, as they pictured their final goodbye. Teachers must hate the last day of school. They're all crying. And then it was time. The bell rang. Goodbye, the students called as they rushed out the door. Goodbye, Mrs. Hartwell called after them. And then she returned to her empty desk. It's just me and you, Daisy, she said. I'm sure going to miss them this summer. But I can't wait for vacation. Toast. The last day blues. So you might be sad about the last day of school. And I know that I am, and the other teachers at school are too. One of the other books that I would read to you is called I'll Never Let You Go, because I will never forget you guys. When you are happy, I hear you sing. You swoop and swore, you love everything. When you are naughty, I see that too, but I know that really you know what to do. When you're bothered and all in a flap, I wait by your side while you snip and you snap. When you're excited, the world joins in with you. You bounce all about. Look, I'm bouncing too. When you are sleeping, curled up so tight, I stay awake, keeping watch through the night. When you are quiet, I think with you. I hope you find answers, work out what to do. When you are brave, I'm at your side, and every adventure we'll take in our stride. When you aren't sure, you'll feel me near. When you are scared, I will be here. For when you are high and when you are low, I'll be holding you tight. And I'll never let go. Boys and girls, it has been a great year in first grade. And Toast and I miss you so much. We hope you have a great summer. Stay healthy. We miss you, we love you, and we wish you well.